So we decided to come see you out about just under a year after we'd started trying, a year and a half after we'd gotten married. And that's when we did IVF with our first set of twins. We had twin daughters for that first, after trying just one time. We got lucky that time. We were able to have our twin daughters. They're 8 now.
And how did you first hear about us?
You know, ironically enough, we had family members that had come to you, and so I have an older sister who had come seeking your help years before. Her daughter's a bit older than our daughters, and a sister-in-law that had also come. And so we've been talking about this, and out of all of the grandchildren in our family, from my mother's side, there's 23 grandkids, and 12 of them have been a result of help that you have provided us in one way or another, doing different procedures from IUI to IVF, and so.
Oh, fantastic! So how many kids do you have now?
So we have 4, and we I recall the second time coming back after we had our twin daughters. We waited 5 years, knowing with twins that they were expensive, and the chance of us having twins again was there. I always felt that it was funny when we came to you. You told us the odds of having twins weren't super high, but we must have won the lottery because when we did IVF, we actually did it 3 times, and the 3rd time we got our second set of twins. And I remember being pretty discouraged after the second attempt, so when we came back for our second time, and it failing, and telling you, say, well, should I even bother? Should we even try trying again? But we had decided prior to coming to you that we would give it 3 shots. And I'm glad we'd made the decision ahead of time, because I feel like had we not done that and not had the courage to try again, we wouldn't be lucky enough to have our second set. But I remember saying to you, is it even worth it? Should we even try? It failed. Are we just wasting our time and money? And you were always so honest with us, and that's the one thing I really appreciated, is I never felt like I was getting a fake story or a fake answer or something that I wanted to hear. And you said, you know what, there's when you try, we can't guarantee it, but at the same time, it might not have been the right time. There might have been, one thing off, or it just might not have been the stars didn't necessarily align in this particular event, but you encouraged us to try again, knowing that it wasn't a complete loss. And I appreciated that, because we did take the plunge, and we did try for a second time, and we were lucky enough to get our son and our daughter that time. Having twins twice was kind of a shock. I remember the ultrasound. Dustin does too.
I do.
And that was a lot of work.
It was. Coming back, I always felt grateful, though. I know sometimes when you're doing fertility treatments, it's hard, because you're like, why me? Why can't I just be one of those people that I just can have kids easily? But I always felt like, since I had such high hopes, and coming to you after having family that had been successful, I didn't feel as discouraged, and I also felt like your success rate was so high. We did a lot of research. I followed your website. I looked at all of your statistics, and that was pretty encouraging to me. So I went into it with the attitude that if it can work for someone else, it can work for us. We were diagnosed with several things that contributed to us not being able to have kids. One of them was PCOS for me, and I felt like you didn't just look at just that, but you looked at the whole body. Just looking at every single thing. We changed my diet, we changed all kinds of things. The number of vitamins I took, I remember my pill box, and it was mostly vitamins. And I'm like, I would have never thought of those kinds of things. But you were super thorough, and that was pretty amazing. I've talked to other people who've been through similar experiences, but they never have quite the same story that we have. And so I always feel pretty lucky that we found you, and that our opportunity, our chance to have children was increased because of that.
And how did you feel about the staff?
I loved the staff. It was always a small, quaint office, which I appreciated. I love the fact that your nurses, we would walk in and they would know our name. In fact, your embryologist, we after we had even gone through some of our procedures, we saw him running a parade route one day, and he recognized our faces. What are the odds that you can go somewhere, especially if you go to a bigger doctor's office or you're one of so many patients, they don't really remember you, but I always felt remembered, and I always felt like people knew our name, and they always treated us like family. I loved that about your office. You probably can relate with that.
Mm-hmm.